feel so fortunate, so blessed to have known you. I have had some of the greatest students any teacher could ever have. It's been phenomenal that this semester, a former student of mine in a classics major, Leah Deutsch, has taken over from me and just done an astounding job, for which I am eternally grateful. Leah, they love you. You've done fantastic work, and of course now you're going on to become a teacher yourself. And in all the years that I've been teaching, I don't know if there would have been another year that we would have been able to turn to someone in the community or local that would have the expertise to take over this position. So we are truly fortunate that you were here to do this for us. You know, for those of you who haven't been haven't seen too much of in recent years, it was just about 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, when I was diagnosed with cancer. And I had a big operation, and then I went through lots of chemo, and I don't remember exactly the figure, but I had something like an 85% chance that there would never be a reoccurrence. I mean, it was really, really high. I think with my type of cancer, that it would never ever come back. And then to make sure that it didn't, when I finished my chemo, I became a health nut, and I was exercising all the time and just eating organic foods and, you know, doing all the right stuff and doing very well. And then all of a sudden last fall, things weren't so good, and nobody quite knew what was going on. And at first my doctors weren't concerned, and then very soon, you know, there was a lot of concern. And then of course it was January that we found out things had really gone downhill. And I believe Julie was talking earlier about how close we've been. And I mean, nobody could have been closer than Julie and I that day that I had to go to the hospital in January. I had to be rushed down there, and I had, before the ambulance came, I put in a call to school, and I can't remember who it was I spoke to. I said, I just want to let you know that I'm going to be out tomorrow because they're lucky to and I don't have any lesson plans. And I didn't. And I couldn't do it because I was in agony. And I went to the hospital, and then somehow that message was conveyed to Julie. And Julie left and came down, for which I am also eternally grateful, because I was in no condition to do much of anything. I was in, we won't go into details, but let's just say I was one sick petunia, you know. And Julie was just absolutely amazing, you know. But nobody could figure out what was wrong with me, because I didn't have the symptoms that I was showing didn't seem to follow what they thought was wrong with me. So very soon, in a matter of days, of course, several operations later, we figured out that, you know, an unwelcome visitor in the name of cancer was back, and unfortunately was back big time. At that time, my doctors were telling me that I probably would be about 2 years or so. You know, suddenly you're faced with this, like, what? I'm terminally ill? You know, and it was pretty overwhelming. And I spent a lot of the winter, as I mentioned in my message to folks, email. I spent a lot of January and February when I was home recovering, feeling angry and feeling sad. You know, those were the two emotions that seemed to surface most of the time. And finally, it got to be about March, and I just said, you know, I can't live like this. You know, this isn't the way I'm going to live my life. And it doesn't matter how long I have to live. I am not just going to go on with this frame of mind. You know, I'm going to find things again in life that will bring me joy, and ways that I can contribute to life, and hopefully contribute to the lives of others. I want to share with you that just recently I had a test last week. I was up in Dartmouth, and I had a test which showed that due to the chemo that I had going to be easy. As Bob mentioned to me, my brother the other night, it's going to be massive. But I'm very hopeful that I will be able to go to Worcester this summer and undergo this treatment. Statistically, odds, things are not in my favor, and I realize that. The program that I'm talking about, which is very experimental, they have been having about 30% success rate, meaning that about 30% of their patients are still alive 5 years later. Now, they've even had a few patients which they have not been able to detect cancer 5 years later. But then again, there's that 70% with the experimental therapy, then it comes back. But as my oncologist up in Springfield said to me just last week, hey, if we keep doing what we're doing now, it's 100% probability that it's all going to come back. So this is your best shot. And I'm going for it, and I as I say, I see no It's going to be a long recovery. I've been told it's about 6 months recovering from the surgery and the whole procedure. So if you want to come visit me, feel free to come to my home. I'm staying put. I took my house off the market, and I'm staying put at 31 South Street. And I am very thankful that I believe I will have this opportunity to undergo experimental treatment. And with a surgeon who is a pioneer in the field, she is one of the best in the country at what she does, and to be able to have her working with me will be phenomenal. So I am hopeful. Now, again, who knows? I mean, none of us know, how long we have, and I realize that it's going to take all of my strength to fight this for the rest of my life. And I do plan to do a couple things that I've always wanted to do, some writing, some painting. I don't even want to think about leaving the high school. I came to the high school with Sue. Oh, you're up here somewhere. Yeah, okay. And Mary. Anybody else I'm missing here? In the fall, what was it, fall of 71? First graduated class of 72, so yeah. So the fall of 71. So, I've had close to 40 years, I mean, it's not 4 years yet, but experience in one way or another with the high school as a student or as a teacher. And even after I graduated, I used to come back and meet with teachers and talk to them. And it has just been such an integral part of my life for decades. And I am, again, I cannot tell you how grateful I feel to have the opportunity to have known the students I have known, and to have worked with such fantastic colleagues, such inspiring human beings, such talented colleagues. I just don't believe that there is any school I could have gone to and had better experiences. We have such a strong faculty we have now, and we have had for so many years. And I am so grateful to be part of this experience. And I do plan to come back and certainly visit from time to time. As Chris was saying to me just a couple months back, you never know what's going to, turn up. Maybe I'll be well enough in a local university to come back and do some kind of, extra help in some way or whatever. I mean, we never know what's going to transpire. But I do know that at this point, I need all of my strength to fight this disease. And it gained a lot of ground, apparently not in 2009, but it's lost some ground in 2010. And it's going to continue to lose some ground because I am going to continue to fight it with all the strength that I have. And I am going to continue to live live in a way that is hopefully is honorable and make the most of my time and be grateful for every day that I have and everything that I can do and maybe for, sometimes I think, oh, I wish I could go for a walk. And well, it's a little hard here. I thank each of you so very, very much for having been such an important part of my life and continuing to be such an important part of my life. I just feel so lucky. I know when my father was dying many years ago, and he said to me one day, not too long ago, looking back over his life, that he had no regrets. And I thought, what thing to be able to say that someone at the end of their life said, well, you know, I've sort of been reviewing my life and I don't have any regrets. I've done everything I wanted to do. Well, I still have some things I want to do. But as far as the work that I have had the opportunity to perform over the last 23 years, I think it is now, out of the high school, and 5 years before that at Huntoon High School, I have no regrets about any of that experience. I don't think there is a person alive who could have had a better job, finer colleagues, and just the opportunity to work daily, side by side, with such phenomenal beings. And I thank you all so very, very much.
First thing I'd like to say is it's a real honor and privilege to be up here tonight to present on behalf of the Bellows Falls Union High School School Board, Marilee's chair. It's a real pleasure. Thank you, Jane and Julie, for asking me to be able to do this. The greatest thing is listening to Mrs. Blackett-Torres speak about Marilee, you know, my classmate, my valedictorian in the class of 1973. My classmates right here. It's a real honor to be able to do this. So Marilee, on behalf of the Bellows Falls Union High School Board of Directors, I'd like to present you with the chair. And good help.
But from the beginning of this, I was petrified about organizing this whole event. I can organize one that weekend, but I can't organize it in a crazy. I don't know. I was just a wreck. So I went to Jane because I knew she was the guru of retirement parties. And Jane said, it will come together. And I honestly didn't believe you. But now sitting here, you know, she said, you could do a little flower, you could do this, you could do that. And we did frames, and we did flowers, and we made sure we had all this stuff. But really, when it comes right down to the art matters, it's all of you here tonight. And it is so good to see former math teachers, English teachers, science teachers, people I really care deeply about and love. So, and just familiar faces from when I was at school. And it's just so nice to see everybody back all together. It feels really lovely. And yeah, so thank you everybody for coming out. And thank you so much for all the setup and the